Hey guys, so today I've got a selection of sovereigns, quarter ounce and various coins to show you. We're going to have just a bit of a longer video with it being the holiday season, Christmas season, New Year season and all that. It might be New Year before this gets released, but we're going to have a little look at some of the higher quality coins in the stack. And like I said, we're going to have quite a few sovereigns and different bits and pieces. So we've got a couple of graded coins here. I don't have many in general. But I do have a couple here to show you. So they are two different grades, and I'll just let you have a closer look at both. And I don't think I just showed you the... no, it's on the other side. So I'll let you have a closer look at both of these, and we'll perhaps take a look, see what you think is the higher of the grades. And if you are perhaps a bit more familiar with graded coins, you can probably try and have a guess what grade you think they are. So this is the first one. This is a 1924 Melbourne, so from the Melbourne Mint. And yeah, pay attention to the fields, the sort of luster, if you like, and perhaps a surface there. And then this is the next one, so last little look there. This is a 1919, and this is a Canada Ottawa Mint, so it's got the C there. The mint marks on sovereigns are just here, just above the date on the on the ground there, so quite hard to make out. You can just see in various lights there. It's a bit harder to see on this one. Maybe that's a clue to the grade, maybe it's not. But just have a look there and see if you can guess the grade. Go for it. I will show you later in the video, but those are a couple of my graded ones I've got to show you for reference, and they are two different grades. One is higher than the other, obviously, one is lower than the other, but we're going to take a look at some of the higher quality sovereigns. So I've got various things. I've got them on a little tray here so I can slide around and show you, and we'll take a little look at some closer ups as well. So I do continue to buy quarter ounce as well. A lot of people ask why I don't buy quarter ounce instead of sovereigns, because it's 24 karat gold and not 22 karat like the sovereigns. And the answer is it doesn't really matter in the UK. The main thing is whether it's a UK denominated coin. So for example, something like the American Eagle, it isn't a pound denominated coin, whereas something like the Tudor Dragon quarter ounce is. So it has a £25 face value, like Britannia would, and like similar coins. So in the UK, we're not really penalised or rewarded for buying 22 over 24 karat. In fact, premiums are generally higher on Britannias than they are on sovereigns, and slightly higher again on things like your Tudor Beasts or other similar coins. Sometimes you come across a deal, or you're just in the right place at the right time, and some coins do come up a bit cheaper, but in general, that is what we're working with. And as well, I don't have many 10th ounce coins. I do buy them from time to time when they're a particularly good deal, or if they're particularly interesting. But I do have a couple of 10th ounce, although it's not something I would tend to stack, again just due to the higher premiums. And then like more novelty coins, like something like this, again I'll pick it up because it's got a T-Rex on it, but not something I would consider stacking as the bulk of my stack, if you like. So in terms of the sovereigns, yeah, we've got quite a number of different sort of mint marks, especially in the George V reign, so between 1911 and 1932. And that sort of stemmed from trying to build a date run of sovereigns. So whilst I have different monarchs, different mint marks, I was trying to get from all the way from the first sovereigns, up to the end of them and the current ones in bullion form. So not every year was minted, which makes things a little bit easier, but there are still some tricky years to come across. And I was getting quite close just by buying best value bullion, without really much thought and without focusing on it. And so with a bit of strategic buying and picking and choosing, I managed to get quite close. And in terms of where we're at, I have got the bullion sovereigns from the first Georgian Dragon design, so 1871 with young Victoria, through to the present day. But then I am missing some of the shields. So from 1838 through to 1887, I think I'm missing 6 or 7 dates there still. And basically just because they are higher premium coins now. And you know, we're looking definitely into the collector market and not just your bullion market. So, you know, whilst I've obviously got an amount of money invested in gold, I could put some of that into, you know, these higher premium coins, or I could just simply buy the higher premium ones. I do just prefer keeping to the bullion weight and buying things based on that. You know, I'm not really looking to add some of these coins that are like 5 times, 10 times, you know, a bullion sovereign price, just for the sake of ticking off the date. So, yeah, this is an 1877. This is a shield sovereign. Has a Sydney mint mark, so the mint mark is just here. And sometimes there is, on the London ones, there is a, not a mint mark, but a number, so a die number. Let me see if I can pull one out at random here. This is 1883. And this is another Sydney shield sovereign. So I will point out when we get to one with a die number. It will happen in a moment. But like I say, it's just going to be a longer video looking at some nicer coins. So when you're looking at the shield sovereigns, you know, pay attention to the detail. Some of the first areas to wear would be on this side, the lion's faces. You know, some of the lions just look like blobs on a more worn coin. And if you can't tell it's a lion, then that's probably a bit of a sign that it's quite worn. On this side, if you look just above the ear into the hairline, there is just a tiny bit of wear there on the high point, just where I'm flicking the light across there now. Obviously, you know, things like the date and the legend, if they're worn, the head is going to be quite worn as well. So I'm not sure which would be my best shield sovereign. This one wouldn't be it, but this is an 1850. This is one of the slightly harder to get dates. It is one that took a while to get and then ended up getting 2 at once. But yeah, I don't really dig into all the variations and varieties. I was just purely looking for the dates on the shield sovereigns. When it comes to the George V sovereigns, however, I was trying to pay attention to the mint marks, and I still do pick up interesting mint marks as and when they pop up. So this is a George and Dragon Young Victoria. This is quite a good condition for these. One of the areas on the George and Dragon to look out for is like the dragon's belly down here. You can see those sort of little bumps and ridges. They do wear off, as do you know, the rider's leg, and sort of detail around the horse's head in there. So this is a particularly good example of one. You know, I'm not really into grading coins as such. I wouldn't like to guess what grade it would be, but you know, I can spot a nicer coin over one that's more worn. So if I just pull that 1850 back, was it this one? And you can just see the two side by side. Again, we've got that little bit of wear that's a bit more prevalent on this one above the ear, and you know, a bit more detail on here. So you'll notice that the date is below the portrait on the shield, whereas on the George and Dragon there is no date on this side. There is sometimes the mint marks on this side, but obviously the date is on the George and Dragon side. So moving on, we have another one. So we've got the dates here, and again there's a bit of wear above the ear, but it's a reasonably good condition. You know, it looks pretty appealing to the eye. And again, this is a shield, but with no mint mark or die number. So I've got a tube here which has some more of the better quality shield sovereigns. I hope I've picked up the right tube. We will take a look. Let's pop them on here. So I'll bring them out onto camera one at a time. So here we have another shield. Again, quite good detail, and you'll see above the rose at the bottom is the die number, which looks like an 18. They are quite hard to see with the naked eye, especially looking through a phone screen that I'm recording on. But yeah, we can see there's some detail in the lion's faces there, and overall looks pretty good. So this is an 1871, which is quite a common date. It's not especially hard to come by. Some people look for some of the variations and varieties, others just look for better quality coins, others don't really care either way and they're just picking up shield sovereigns. So the shield sovereigns do tend to command a bit of a premium. Certain varieties and almost like error coins, they would perhaps attract a surprising premium to some. But for those who are into collecting those sort of things, then it is a bit of an attraction. This one has a nice bit of sort of toning or luster on it. Try and show it off in the camera there. But again, detail is not too bad, and a nice coin. So the shield sovereigns, they have, like I say, many varieties, and one of the good places to look for those is the Marsh sovereign book. So that is a good place if you're looking for further resources. Other resources are auction catalogues, so you can find those from various auction houses. Some of the bigger collections have had like their own books made, and things like the Bentley collection, for example, would be one to look out for. This is pretty good in terms of detail. It looks very, very clean coin. There is not much wear that I can see there. Not sure if it's one of the better ones. It appears to be an 1884, so could well be a mint mark on there, and it is. It's got a Melbourne mint, so you can see above the central rows there at the bottom we have the M for Melbourne. So particularly nice one. That I'll just keep that to the side there and just see if we get anything that's sort of similar. Obviously I have seen these coins before and have shown them on the channel before, but it's been a while since I've taken a look at these, so quite exciting for me too. I know roughly what's in here, but time to time you just forget what you have, and it's a nice surprise sometimes to be, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So got another nice 1852, again quite nice detail on there. For those who are wondering about the grades on these two coins that we looked at earlier, the 1919, 1924, the 1919 was the lower grade of an MS62, and the 1924 was a higher grade of an MS63. So one is NGC and one is PCGS. So I don't know if you want to argue about that in the comments, then feel free. Like I say, I'm not super clued up on grading. I can see a nice coin compared to a more worn one, but it's not something I specialise in. And yeah, over time, looking at various coins, you take a closer look at them for a long time. You go into just learn more about them, and like I say, you're going to be able to pick out a good one from a pack, or a good one from a pile. So again, there's some pretty nice detailed coins in here. Some maybe it would be worth sending for grading. I'm not sure what. Let me know if you are watching and you spot one that you think, oh yeah, get that graded or something like that. If you spot something that is perhaps a bit of a rarity, then let me know. 1875, again, that was a slightly more difficult date to come across, just without paying larger premiums. There is a bit more wear on this one, but on the shield side it actually looks a bit nicer, I would say. I would say the portrait side is not as nice as the shield side on this one. It has a Sydney mint mark there, and we've just got a few more to go, so I will whiz through them. If there's anything that is particularly nice, I will hold on to it for a little bit longer, see if anything beats our 1884 from earlier. So again, some quite nice coins, but they're not all the shields actually as well. I do have another tube that is not in capsules, but I haven't got those with me today. So if you want to see another video, I could perhaps run through those, so let me know. This one is an 1874. It's a quite nice condition, but it does have some ink marks on it. I think that was a thing, people used to like assign them or put their initials on them so they knew their coins were theirs in the past. It's probably something that would clean off or conserve off, but not something I've got around to myself. What else have we got here? We've got an 1868. This one has a bit more wear. You can see in the hair there where it's just like, it looks a bit flatter just above the ear. And if I just bring that 1884 back, you can see the difference there. So when I'm talking about, a nicer coin, they're both nice, but, you know, you can just see there's a bit more detail there on the right hand side, and that's what I am looking out for. Again, 1856, nice enough. We have 1863, a little bit more wear than the 65. We have another, this is an 1872, another date that seems to come up quite often. And what we got here, we've got an 1881, quite nice condition, quite like that. Is it similar to the 1884? Maybe not quite as nice, but it's in the same ballpark. It is probably not the same grade. It's probably a grade down, I would say. My unexpert opinion, just as a an average collector rather than a specialist coin grader. Another 1871, like I say, quite common date that I ended up picking up a lot of just by chance, just buying Shield Sovereigns. And lastly, we have an 1880. So yeah, I think out of this bunch, probably the 1884 is the winner in terms of most appealing by eye to me. Let me know if you spotted one that you think was better. And yeah, if you like this sort of video, it is a bit of a longer one than I normally do, but something a little bit different for over the festive period. So if it's New Year by the time you see this, Happy New Year. If it's not, then wish you all the best.